Welcome to Caricomp Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence.
Half the country just built a face scan checkpoint system, and most people have no idea it happened. 25 U.S. states now require you to upload a driver's license or scan your face just to access certain websites. 9 of those laws passed in 2025 alone. That means if you've unlocked your phone with your face today, or handed your ID to a website to prove your age, you've already stepped into this system. And if you haven't, someone in your family probably has. These laws were sold as child safety measures, protecting kids online. That framing makes it sound narrow and targeted, but the infrastructure being built underneath those laws isn't narrow at all. If that makes you uneasy, that's a reasonable response. Today I want to replace that unease with something more useful. A clear picture of what's actually being constructed, how it works, and why the accuracy of the technology isn't even the main concern anymore. So what exactly are these systems doing behind the scenes? When a website needs to confirm you're old enough to access it, the platform picks one of 2 paths. Path 1 is inference. The system guesses your age using behavioral data, device signals, or facial analysis. Path 2 is formal identity verification. You upload a government ID or scan your face against a database. Most people assume the guessing approach is the less invasive option, and in some ways it is. You're not handing over a license. But inference swaps certainty for probability. According to NIST benchmarking, facial age estimation has a mean absolute error of roughly 1 year and 3 months under controlled, ideal conditions. That sounds impressive. But in about 1 out of every 5 cases, the estimate is off by more than 14 months. For a 16-year-old near the legal threshold, 14 months is the difference between being blocked and being waved through. For anyone reviewing that decision later, a parent, an auditor, an investigator, there's no way to know which side of that error you landed on. Now, the formal verification path has its own problems. When platforms collect actual ID photos and selfies, that data has to live somewhere. And breaches aren't hypothetical. In October 2025, Discord lost 70,000 ID photos. A dating app leaked 72,000 selfies. Those aren't passwords you can reset. Your face doesn't change. Once that biometric data is out, it's out permanently. So some governments are trying a third approach. The European Union is building what's called a digital identity wallet. It uses cryptographic proofs, basically math, that lets you prove you're over 18 without uploading your actual ID to anyone. The system confirms the fact without collecting the evidence. Compare that to the UK's model, which requires you to upload your ID directly. That's a fundamental architectural choice. One approach, zero-knowledge attestation, doesn't store your data. The other, biometric matching, requires your face to be kept on file for comparison. For everyday users, that difference determines whether your face sits in a corporate database or never leaves your device. For professionals evaluating digital evidence, it determines whether there's even a biometric record to examine. And this is where the landscape shifts in a way most people haven't noticed. The emerging industry standard isn't just verify once at one website. It's what advocates call reusable age checks. You prove your age one time at one checkpoint, and that proof becomes a portable credential. It follows you across platforms, across services, across contexts. Picture airport security. A TSA agent checks your ID once at one gate for one flight. That's targeted screening. Now imagine every store, every restaurant, every venue in the country required the same facial scan, and your clearance from that single checkpoint was the only way through any door. That's the difference between a safety gate and a national identity layer. Age verification started as the first version. It's rapidly becoming the second. Some industry voices want to push verification down to the device level, or the operating system, or the app store. That would keep individual platforms from collecting your ID directly. But it concentrates verification authority in the hands of a few massive companies: Apple, Google, a handful of others. Fewer data collection points, yes, but also fewer gatekeepers deciding who gets verified and how. And the biggest misconception in this entire debate? That age verification is just about age. People believe that because child safety is how every one of these laws is framed. Protecting kids is the stated purpose, and it sounds limited and specific. But according to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, what we're actually watching is mission creep. Once the infrastructure exists to check identity for one purpose, expanding it costs almost nothing. The EU Digital Identity Wallet is already designed to store and verify diplomas, professional licenses, and health records. A system built to confirm you are over 18 becomes, overnight, a system that can confirm you are licensed to practice medicine, or you are eligible for this benefit, or you are in this location at this time. For anyone who's ever worried about surveillance overreach, that pattern should look familiar. The accuracy of the face scan was never the real story. The real story is scope and reuse. A 95% accurate age estimate means something completely different when it's used once at a single website versus when that verified credential travels across 50 platforms. We've moved from debating is the match good enough to who controls where matching is allowed. So here's what to carry with you. 25 states built digital ID checkpoints in a single legislative wave, framed entirely as child safety. The technology behind those checkpoints is designed to be reusable, one verification, portable everywhere. And once that infrastructure exists, it never stays limited to its original purpose. Whether you're evaluating digital evidence professionally or just trying to understand why a website asked to scan your face last Tuesday, the question isn't how accurate the system is. It's how far the system reaches. The written version goes deeper. Links below.
Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, Caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.